the story of my life remains written on these pages. My fate has always been my own. Every deed, every choice, and every person I met made me what I am. Could I have really taken a different path? Found a different calling? Altered the very course of history? And what price would I have to pay?
Hey guys, I thought I should read this game since it's a PAX based game, and this is demo, so I don't really need to read like for hours on end. Alright, so chapter 1. At the end of time, your fingers are stained with ink, your breathing grows ragged, your hands are shaking, yet the words begin appearing on the page before you one by one, clinging together to form a chronicle of your own life. Who are you, and how did you reach this end? You were born, raised, and live your entire life in the blessed Arcanian Empire. In this land, a man's destiny is predetermined at the moment of his birth. Whether human or Arcanian, nobleman, priest, or low-born commoner, all bent to the divine will of the twin gods. And each life is not but a single cog in the universe's immeasurable machine. The memories come flooding back. They engulf you as a merciless wave, binding together days that are thrice dead and gone. The dreams of your childhood, your adolescence, your youth spent in the capital, years of peace teeming with life and a war drenched in blood. High ranks and lowly deeds, opulent palaces, secretive city backstreets, fields of battle and faces, so many faces of the people you held dear, the people who walked this road by your side. Such was your life, now all exposed by ink erupting onto the page. With your every step, you sought to change the world as you saw fit, the choices of your upbringing, the path you carved in your youth, the fruits of your struggle, the consequences of your sacrifice, all of it led you to here, to the end of your time, and every choice had a price. Now, years and years later, the crossroads of your life echo in your memory, the pain and the joy inextricably intermingled. Could you have taken a different path, chosen a different calling, found a different place in the world? You had the power to alter the very course of history. Right. Now, on the verge of death, you struggle with doubt, seeking answers to the last and most crucial question of all. Your life, of all the paths in life, why did you walk this one? Did you choose your own fate, or was your life shaped by forces beyond your control? What determines a man's destiny? Right. So your life has always been yours to live. You make your own destiny. Path charted for you by the people, a higher power, and there is no destiny. Destiny does not exist. Human life is an exercise in chance. To be honest, I would likely choose this one. Life is just chance. Alright, but alright, I guess I'll just. Okay, so you stand tall and stare death in the face, unflinching. There was no higher power guiding your life. It was just a wild jig, a chaotic tangle of innumerable human wills, actions, and accidents. The only thing that could ever turn this chaos into an orderly narrative is the eternal human drive for storytelling. Your life had no greater meaning. You were neither cursed by fate nor guided by providence, and this is what made you truly free. But are you right about this? Is it all true? To learn the truth, you will have to return to the very beginning, remembering every step you took along the way. On these pages, the story of a man. Dang, I should have chosen a male name. Alright, the story of a man named Athena Brante will live once more. Right, continue. Okay, so starting from childhood. Chapter 1, childhood. Okay. Childhood, where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child learning about the world in which you were born. To you, everything is so new, so baffling, and so unforgiving. A long, trying life stretches before you. So many feats and faults, so many fateful choices to come. Yet, you are already sowing the seeds of your future self. You are learning to live and survive in this world, looking for a place within it to call your own, choosing your future destiny. Who will you grow up to be? Okay, so a nobleman's sacrament. Inside, suffer your first death. Okay. Fencing lesson. Okay, so important life. Okay, should I click on this? Oh no, alright. Next, personal qualities episode. So currently I'm spineless and inattentive. Ready for action, untouched by death. Okay. This green. Okay, here. Tea, house of bread. Let's go. At first, there was nothing, no time, no sensation, nothing but darkness and void. But then, a will breathed life into nothingness. Matter and spirit were set in motion. History began its march. It was your turn to enter this world. Your first memory, you are lying on your back, blinded by a bright white light. You are not alone. Above you tower the colossal figures of those who created you. You are a part of them, and they are a part of you. Between you and them is an inexplicable connection and a strong, unbreakable link. They will always watch over you, guard you, and protect you. It hurts to breathe. You let out a pain in the form of a desperate scream. Your creators extend their hands towards you. There are two of them, the ones who made your form from their own selves and brought you into this world. They are united, yet as they lean closer, you begin to see how different they are. You can already feel their differences within you, struggling against each other. The first figure is soft and empathic, wise and merciful. The love that emanates from it wraps you head to toe like an invisible blanket. The warmth from it is never ending. The second figure is strong and powerful, commanding and noble. It is harsh but fair, a beacon of guidance, a force of protection, and a merciless punishment for every mistake. Yet there is also a third figure. It's like a shadow barely seen behind them. yet already pulsing with an unbreakable will to live. It is the very will to live that is now growing ever stronger within. The third figure is death, right? Waiting for the baby to grow old, die. Okay, so a soft open palm, a strong closed face, and a lingering distant shadow. You struggle to loosen the sweating cloths wrapped around you and extend a tiny hand into it. Okay, so you choose the mom, the dad, or smile at death. Yeah, let's just do this. Your first smile appears on your face, awkward yet genuine. Your mother and father exchange looks and start talking. You know no words yet, so all you hear is a sequence of booming sounds. But the stranger behind them has no need for words. The stranger's look is all it takes for you to feel the will to live and act that now burns within you. Or the will to live and act that now burns within you. Nice. The shadow brings a finger to its lips as if, should be as if, right? As if to say, there, baby, don't cry. This is our secret now. And then the shadow melts into the light. Your life in this world begins, so how will you live it? So 1 year old. Alright. As days go by, you learn to tell your parents apart. You recognize father by his heavy breath and strong cold hands. He visits you rarely. Nice art. Hello there, little. Alright, I really need to change this name. Brante. Our mother's tender voice, however, follows you day and my, you're growing up so quickly, my child. There are 2 more children in the family, named Stephen and Gloria. Gloria sings songs to you. She often dresses you in tight clothing and gently holds your hand as you learn to take your first steps. Stephen likes to sweep you up, pinch you, and toss you into the air. Oh look, this is your brother and sister. Yeah, you're my little brother. We're going to play together, but I'll always be in charge because you were born a commoner. Huh? How does this work? They are from the same family, right? Okay, so Gloria, be quiet, you. He doesn't understand yet. Come on, baby. Okay, let's go and play in the yard. It is hot outside. You grip your brother's hand with one hand and your sister's with another as they help you walk down the giant stone stairs. Then you sit on the ground and start exploring the sparse blades of grass with your fingers. It tickles. In the sky far above and away from you is a gigantic pillar, a perfectly straight stick made of light. It is so bright it hurts to look at it. Why are you staring at the shining pillar? It's not going anywhere, you know. Hey, I want to play hide and seek. He's just a little baby, how's he gonna play? Then you hide him and I'll try to find both of you. You have no idea what they are talking about, but you support them with happy cooing. This is strange, but so exciting. Stephen and Gloria glance at each other. Then your brother walks to a big tree, closes his eyes, and starts shouting something. Gloria takes your hand and walks you through the yard. Your sister takes you behind some thick bushes by a tall wall. The light from that light stick on the horizon barely reaches there. You can't see home from this place. The ground is crawling with tiny black bugs. Gloria sits you down on the ground and puts a finger to her mouth for some reason, and then she's gone. You can no longer hear Stephen's voice. Gloria is nowhere to be seen. You feel colder. The bugs are no fun to play with. You've been sitting here for a long time, completely alone. Nobody checks on you. Did they forget about you? Did they abandon you? Usually babies will just cry, right? Alright, let's just sit there and look. The bush is covered with leaves swaying in the wind. You brush through them with your fingers. The twigs and branches are stiff and will not bend. They are different from the blades of grass. Down on the ground, you see a group of bugs carrying a little twig. You grab it from them. They are so funny. One of the bugs crawls. Typo. Okay, so crawls on your finger and bites it, just enough to sting a little. You hear brisk steps and then the leaves and twigs rustling and parting. Your mother leans over you. You greet her with a happy face and show her the finger with the bug on it. So that's where they took you. Mother picks you up, puts you to her chest and pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria is in tears. Stephen keeps staring at his feet. You hug your mother tightly. She's here now. Alright. 2 years old. Another memory, you are still a little child, but you can already talk and run around on your own. Today is out of the ordinary. Father is busy around the house giving orders to the servants. Throughout the day, the kitchen has been abuzz with work, and there are solemn, gloomy preparations and candles being lit. Even your older brother Stephen is quiet today. Mother takes your hand and brings you to your sister Gloria. My son, today is the great descent. We honor the day when the Queen Gods descended to us. We must spend this day in reverence to the gods. You are too young to understand, so just do everything your sister says for now. Gloria takes you to the playroom. There are no toys there, no chairs. Even the carpet has been taken away. There is nothing here but a bare wooden floor. Today we're not allowed to go to any other rooms, and we'll be eating nothing but gruel and stale bread. On the day of the Great Descent, everyone must be where they belong. It is quiet, unusually so. Muffled voices from beyond the door are all you can hear. You are sitting on the cold floor, confused, with no idea what to do. Then you hear your sister's voice, right? Okay, then you hear your sister's voice, a lonely sound in the empty room. It is a little song that mother taught her. You hold your breath as you listen to it. Okay, so I'll just read it because this, despite this being a song, when the twins came down to earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let's count them 1 to 3. The twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Priests work hard to understand, guide us by the Queen's commands. Common people work and toil, always patient, never spoiled. Leave your lot where you were born to the day when you pass on. Know your lot and know the prayer for the twins see everywhere. You are transfixed by the tune. Gloria notices your gaze and a smile creeps across her face. You like the rhyme, don't you? Do you know what it's all about? Look, there are 3 lots. They were brought to us by the twins when they descended to us from the shining pillar. Remember that pillar of light on the horizon? That's it. You can see the shining pillar anytime from anywhere in the world. If you follow your lot as you leave, you'll reach the peak of the pillar. And if you don't, you'll get eternal torment at the foot. You and I are lowborn. Mom is a commoner too. So the lot for you and me is to suffer and be patient and work hard. Understand? The priests and nobles have other lots. The nobles fight and rule over everybody. The priests, well, I'm not sure what they do, but I guess they talk to the twins and then teach everybody. Gloria stares at you intently. You get it, silly? Then she shakes her head and keeps singing the song over and over again. Her voice transfixes you, drawing you in. The room starts to glow like the sky. From this light emerge 2 figures you have known ever since the moment of birth. One of them embraces sister's shoulder. The other stands guard behind her back. You watch this happening before your very eyes, unable to turn away. Gloria is swaying to the song, unaware of what is happening. She sings the final verses once more. Know your Lord and know the prayer. You feel compelled by this divine insight to express yourself somehow. You feel words condensing within you from the writing. But what will these words be? Let's go the rebel route. Alright. Know your Lord and know the prayer. The lots are lies told everywhere. You shout these words, but you have no idea how they came to you. The shining pair standing behind her back turn to look at you. You can feel a gaze piercing you from top to bottom. When the moment passes, they melt into the dim light coming from the window. Now Gloria is staring at you. You see disappointment in her eyes. That's not the way the song ends. Why did you ruin it? You shrug, quite pleased with your cleverness. The young rebel. Okay. 3 years old. You're starting to understand more and more of what the adults say. Your family is an unusual one. Your father is a nobleman, but not by birth. His is a title earned through great service. But your mother is a lowborn woman, a commoner. Because of this, you were born a commoner. But father says you may yet come into nobility. You learn to read at an early age. Together with mother, you read and learn by heart many poems about the divine tunes, the twin gods who reside upon the shining pillar. Mother calls these poems prayers. Again and again, you try to discern the shapes of the gods in the strip of holy light that shines in the sky all day and night. But the light is too blinding to gaze upon. The greatest joy of all this is when the stairs are no longer an insurmountable obstacle. Now you can climb and even jump from step to step. Father urges you to be more careful and avoid climbing too high. But even though you keep falling, you never stop being curious about the world around you. Your older brother Stephen now spends less and less time playing with Gloria and you. Playing with commoners is believed a noble man to be, he says. So Gloria calls him names and Stephen pulls her pigtails. One fine evening, father gathers you all in the sitting room with an announcement. You will have another little brother or sister soon. Gloria asks him to bring home a little sister. Another brother will be too much. Stephen gets frustrated. There are too many little siblings getting in his way already. Soon you'll be an older brother too. But it doesn't really matter who the youngest will be. Boy or girl, you'll love them the most. When father comes back from his trips, he reads his adult books aloud for you. You find those stories of wars and generals and rebellions enchanting. And father approves of your fascination. Study hard and maybe one day you'll become a noble of the mantle and earn your sword. But first, you need to grow up. Growing up, the concept is as terrifying as it is alluring. Alright. So, this is what I don't understand. So, Stephen Brante is he adopted or something? Or maybe Robert has like 2 wives, so let's see. Oh, the only child in the family to be raised in accordance with noble tradition. I don't understand why Stephen is a noble, but his siblings aren't. It's just a bit weird. Alright, so with a lot of suffering, you keep staring at the carpet under your feet. You are both ashamed and proud, and it feels odd. A scratch on your hand stings a little. Stephen is standing next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You wanted to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. Pick it up and hit him with it. You see mother's shoes walking to and fro on the carpet. You do not want to look up. You would rather not see her angry. She is not as gentle to you these days. Why did you hurt Stephen? You stammer out an explanation. He hit you first. You just hit him back. How dare he pester me like that when I grow up I'm gonna hit you with a real sword. Mother shushes. I don't know how to properly pronounce this. You both and speaks to you again. Her voice is stern and yet you can still feel her concern for you. Even as if Stephen hits you, you cannot hit him back. You are my son, and I was born a commoner. Our lot is to suffer. But your brother was born from a noble father and a noble mother. Oh, yeah, 2 wives. Alright, so his sacrament is coming soon, and then he'll rule over the likes of us. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. That is your lot, and the sooner you learn it, the better off our entire family will be. Now Stephen looks at you in triumph. You look up at mother in fear, not sure what to do. demand an explanation. Okay. You start asking questions. Why were you born a commoner if your father is a noble? You have your father's name. Why can't you have his lot? And why can't you choose a lot for yourself if you don't like the one you have? Mother is stunned by all the questions you are peppering her with. Don't you dare ask me about that. I'll violate my lot if I start explaining it all to you. I'm a commoner, not Grace. You are flogged in front of your entire family. The pain burns on your skin again and again. Tears keep rolling down your cheeks. It feels like the punishment will never end. It hurts to walk when you're finally let go. You slowly climb the stairs and walk in your room. You see a book on your bed, The Teaching of Satis, Volume 2. Your tears have dried now. You begin to read, slowly making your way through the difficult words. Every death of the body bringeth the soul ever closer to the Queen's judgment. And when the body dieth through death, the soul soareth to the shining pillar. The twin gods do judge every soul, and the judgment is stern and unforgiving. He who followeth his lot in life from birth shall melt in bliss atop the peak of the shining pillar. The words confuse and elude you, instilling fear and awe. You read this mysterious book again and again as you grow up. I just noticed my cursor is actually a quail. A very tiny one. Okay, so Gloria's rhymes. Mother mostly stays in her chambers now. With each passing day, she grows heavy and her features get rounder. It gets difficult for her to walk, but she still smiles all the time. One day she takes your hand and puts them on her big belly, and you feel a movement deep inside her. You'll have another brother or sister soon. Gloria takes you on walks to the yard now. You explore the yard together under the evening light of the pillar, and she sings you songs and tells you amazing stories. Do you want to hear a rhyme? I wrote it myself. There's even a bit about you, but don't tell anyone, okay? Writing poems and songs is only for the nobles. If Mommy hears about it, I'll get flogged. Remember how you got flogged for hitting Stephen? Our judge is my second father. In the past, I had another. Mother says the twins are great, says we should not fight our fate. Brother loves to jump around. Please don't fall down on the ground. See, I wrote a little rhyme. Please don't tell them it is mine. But today your sister is nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the old pond and show you the red frogs that live there. But then she vanished. The servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers when she hears the commotion. Finally, you find Gloria in the far corners of the garden. She is holding a quill and sheets of paper covered in poetry. Mother becomes angry the moment she sees it. She looks through the poetry and her face grows dark with rage. Gloria is standing before her, wringing her hands and looking for an opportunity to run, but there seems to be no escape. What is this nonsense, Gloria? We talk about this. You were told to take care of your little brother. You are absolutely not allowed to entertain yourself with this writing. I can decide that for myself now. No, you cannot. It has already been decided by the gods. And he's not a little brother anymore. He doesn't need a nanny, and I need some time alone to think for myself. I'm not hurting anyone. You're a commoner and a future wife. It's time you learn how to properly care for children. Had your disgraceful former father kept me in his house, you could have been born a noble, but that is not our fate. And you are absolutely forbidden from ever spoiling paper and wasting ink again. Former father. Okay. Mother grabs Gloria firmly by the hand and takes you both into the house. The scribbled sheets fly into the fireplace. Gloria sobs violently. You're a bystander to this scene, unsure of how to act. You comfort Gloria and say that Mother is wrong. Mother leaves. The last of your sister's poetry burns away in the fireplace. You walk up to your crying sister and take her by the hand. None of this is her fault, you say. What Mother did is wrong and far too harsh. Gloria sniffles before speaking. But I did leave you all alone. You are not mad at me, really? You nod in reassurance. Gloria embraces you. You're the best little brother in the world. The two of you make a little deal. She promises to tell you when she wants to be alone, and you promise to protect her and her secrets always. Nice. Alright. Years old. Mother is in her armchair knitting woolen jackets, pants and socks for the little one. The baby will need to be kept warm, she says. Father spends less time at home now. Mother says he's very busy with his important job. He's a judge after all. One day you decide to ask Mother about Stephen and Gloria. How come they are brother and sister to you but not siblings to each other? Well, my dear, I didn't give birth to Stephen, you see. He's the son of another mother, and Gloria is the daughter of another father. Come now, don't knit your brow like that. You'll understand when you're older. How is that even possible? You're all family, aren't you? Several days later, Mother calls Stephen and Gloria to the sitting room. You sneak in after them. At first, Mother gets angry and asks you to leave, but then she relents. You're told to sit still, be quiet, and remember every word. When you enter the temple, bow to the twins, first to the elder on the right and then to the younger on the left. Stephen, you're a noble man to be, so walk along the side paved with marble where the benches are. Gloria, you walk along the sharp side. When you're there, you must get down on your knees, each on your own side. Stephen, kiss the sword. Gloria, my daughter, they'll strike you with the lash. Don't be afraid of it. Resign yourself to the suffering it brings. It is the blessing of your Lord. Wow. Gloria doesn't like the idea of the lash. There's a tense feeling in your chest as well. You were told to remember this. Will the lash strike you too one day? On the next day, they take your brother and sister to the temple. You run towards them when they finally come back. The back of Gloria's dress is soaked with blood. She's hunched a bit, sobbing quietly. Stephen is putting on airs, acting prouder than ever. Nothing else looks different about them. It's like everything's the same, and yet nothing is the same anymore. Each of them has accepted a lot. Alright. Brother and sister sacrament. Your siblings... Oh, first sacrament? That means there's a second sacrament? Okay. You eye the little bundle in your father's arms with curiosity. Behind the many layers of swaddling cloths is your newborn baby brother. Mother is glowing and smiling with joy. Stephen and Gloria are also here, all excited. You promise yourself you're going to be the best big brother in the world. You'll never hit him. Oh no, the two of you will play together and tease Stephen together and help Mother together and go on so many adventures together. It feels so strange to be an older brother. Just the other day you were the youngest in the family, but everything is different now. Your parents name your little brother Nathan, and Mother spends day and night by his side, and Nathan cries all the time, day and night. Mother barely gets any sleep. She is so worn out, she starts forgetting things. Like today, for instance, she forgot her knitting in the armchair in the sitting room. You better bring it back to her as soon as possible. You run to Mother's bedroom. You miss her smile so much. You walk in without saying hello and give her the knitting. Instead of gratitude, you get an ice-cold, exhausted stare. Nathan is also there, screaming all the time. Go away, you're bothering me. She spits these words out through her teeth. You look at the bawling newborn. She can't even get a minute of respite. Enough already, when are you going to stop? I just want some peace and quiet. Mother leaps across the room and starts shaking Nathan with malice in her eyes. His cries get even louder. She looks so tired from his never-ending screams. She seems to be within an inch of smashing him against the wall. Somebody has to do something. You're afraid of your mother right now, but you fear for Nathan's life much more. not choose this one. Why? Probably because I don't have the stats. Alright. I don't think I can outrun an adult, so this one might be a bit too late, so I guess I'll try this. Mother keeps shaking Nathan violently and cannot stay away any longer. He is no longer bawling, he is shirking. Just leave me alone! But then comes your voice, so loud it drowns out their cries. No, it's not Nathan's fault, Mother. We're just tired. Please don't do anything to my little brother. If you have to punish someone, punish me instead. He's too young, he won't understand. Your mother freezes and looks at you, her eyes two narrow slits. Her stare is cold and full of pure wrath, so pure you cannot help but recoil in fear. Are you trying to teach me how to take care of a child? Are you giving me lessons on calming a newborn baby? You're insolent, insipid, nagging know-it-all. It's time you learn your place. He puts Nathan on the bed sheets and then moves towards you. You step back, but the closed door blocks your way. She slaps you across the face. Your ears ring from the heavy blow, and your cheek burn from her wrath. You wince and close your eyes, expecting a second slap, but nothing comes. Nothing but Mother's heavy breath and Nathan's shrill cries. Then there's a knock on the door. You step aside. Father walks in. He looks at you clenching a radiant cheek, at the bawling baby, at Mother, her eyes red with rage and tears, her breath heavy and ragged. Go to your room, son. I'll join you soon. You do as you are told. Back in your room, you press your aching cheek against the cold window, hurt and dazed by what just happened. Soon enough, Nathan stops crying. You hear Father's heavy footsteps in the hallway. He comes into your room and sits on the bed next to you. Son, please do not be angry with your mother. The twins know she wishes nobody any harm. This is a difficult time for her, but we will make it through as a family. You step up to protect your brother. You acted like a little noble man today. I'm proud of you. Your mother and Nathan are resting now. How bad does it hurt? You shake your head, not bad, but your hand still itches. You clutch the cheek. Father embraces you with a sorrowful smile and gingerly pats you on the head as you press your forehead into his housecoat. Things grow calm now. The trouble has passed and you are quietly happy. Right. Nathan's birth. Alright, 5 years old. Toy soldiers. You wake up to Father's touch on your shoulder. He is finally back home after a long trip. Today is your special day, the day you will begin your studies. Now teachers will be coming to our home to teach you, and you must do everything they say. Be diligent in your studies and you will grow closer to the nobleman's lot. And since you must remember this day, a present is in order. Lydia, get our little schoolboy dressed. I'm taking him to the market district. Stephen wants to come with you too, but Father shushes. Alright, I can't do this. Him sternly. And this is your day. Your elder brother is hurt to hear this, but stays quiet. An open carriage takes the two of you through dusty, noisy city streets, a pleasant wind tussling your hair. The city is called Anizoid. That you already know. It is one of the largest cities in the entire empire. There is a big shadow on the street. It comes from the white foliage of an enormous tree that spreads its branches all above the city. My son, did you know the silver tree grew from the blood of our God's own disciples? It has been growing here for hundreds of years, right in our city. It cannot be damaged or burned. Not even a clergy? No, why? Is it? The carriage comes to a halt by a small shop next to a city square. You run there and freeze by the stalls in excitement. The shop is packed with dolls and figurines and toys. You have never seen so many at once before. Have you chosen your present yet? Father asked. You want the Holy Order set, which includes several figurines of the Empire's greatest warriors of all time? You rattle off everything you know about the Holy Order. They were the ones who aided the Emperor's own forces in seizing the province of Magra and storming our city. That's how we joined the Empire. Father nods in approval. Oh, so they were captured by the Empire. Alright. Very well, war isn't your lot for now, but maybe these toy soldiers will teach you to think like a general. We will lead them into battle and study military strategy. Go ahead, take your present. Having said this, Father turns away to examine the books. You run to the box of toy soldiers, delirious with excitement. But there is a fancy dressed boy in your way, and he is about to take your warriors for himself. He elbows you aside, reaches for the box. Anger overcomes you and you push him from behind. Your opponent falls to the floor. The rich boy screams so loudly everybody in the shop hears it. He hit me! He hit me! A tall tower of a man looms over you. This is the boy's father. But then you feel your own father's hand on your shoulders. What happened? You press against father, your mind more at ease now. He will protect you. Yes, you shove the boy to the floor in front of everyone, but he tried to take a present for himself. Father turns you around to face him when he hears these words. Is it true? Did you strike the son of a nobleman? Alright, deny your guilt. You hide behind father and deny all wrongdoing. The boy was too clumsy. Now the two fathers come face to face. Your father is calm while the enraged nobleman pelts him with insults and reaches for his sword again and again. The insults do not stop. In the end, the nobleman challenges father to a duel. There is only one way to protect the family honor. Father grudgingly accepts the challenge. Oh no. They bring him home much later with fresh wound in his side and another on his shoulder. You spend the entire day by his bedside doing whatever he says, overcome with a mixture of shame, guilt and gratitude. Even though father rarely shows it, he would readily risk everything for his family. So, father lost, it seems. When father's wound heals, he brings you the belated present, a little box full of soldiers, the holy order made of tin. You line the warriors up in battle formation. Only one thought on your mind: your family is always by your side. Right, 6 years old. Today, father ordered the dinner table to be brought out to dinner. For the first time in months, his home, outside the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day playing with Nathan and you, discussing various matters with Stephen, now an adolescent, and walking in a garden, and now a dinner under the open sky. Your entire family gathers together with father at the head of the table smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knee and recites a counting rhyme in a funny sing-song voice. Stephen mentions about his fencing teacher, praise his accomplishments. He rises from the table together with father to show his skill in his due. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on her chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Mother showers your sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile with his moustache. When the turn comes, recite all the ranks in the legion from common soldier to high commander. Stephen listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in dust tonight. It feels so good, so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fights, just smiles. No arguing, just pleasant small talk. Then a servant approaches father with a letter in his hand. He reads it in the dim light. Each line washes the smile off father's face until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at father with an unspoken question in her eyes. Gregor Brante is coming back to Annie Zot, I think. He's the head of our family, my father, Gregor. Your grandfather, Gregor Brante, returned to the family home from the capital. The intrusion. Ever since the news of grandfather's impending arrival, there has not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. The parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she will be flogged if she is ever seen hiding in the attic. They make Stephen stay in his room. Even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone is on edge. Then one day grandfather arrives. It is a green day, so hot your neck. So hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, mother, Stephen, Gloria, and you and Nathan, the entire Brant family stands on the porch in front of the house. The house servants line up behind you. The carriage arrives, and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively. Good health to you, father. Children, greet your grandfather as you have been taught. Still trying to look like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Brant family to be ennobled by the mantle, and I am the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly. I live honorably by my God. Your marriage to that low-born wench cut us off from ever becoming nobles of the sort. My progeny could have been born bearing noble blood. Father, I beg you, this is not the place. Grandfather eyes him with scorn and walks into the house, the entire family following close behind him. I have been away for far too long. The entire house is a mess, and this is an insult. How can you live in such pigsty? Robert, the servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to a commoner of I warned you, did I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of tradition or honor? They are being raised in a virtuous family, father. And now you're speaking like a lowborn who's content to live in humility. Twins winning, now that I'm here, this will not happen again. Oh, dang it. I'm taking your older son to the capital. I see you cannot provide Stephen with a proper education, so I will correct the mistake. Your brother's fate has been decided just like that. Father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stephen for the journey. Stephen freezes in place, glancing at grandfather and father again and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are a tight line, white with contempt. The house is examined room after room. Everything grandfather sees is showered with scorn. He scoffs at a crease on the blanket in Nathan's crib in mother's bedroom. He mocks Gloria's knitting in the room. The door to your room is next. What is this, Robert? Teen soldiers in your younger son's room? He was born a commoner. I won't have him daydreaming of battle. Grandfather seizes the box containing the teen warrior of the Holy Order. Your father stays silent. Anger and fear boil within you. This is your big present from the first day of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove your right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. If you wait too long, they will melt into flames. I want to choose this, but I can't do it. Dang. If I strike nobleman, then I'll get whipped, right? But bursting into tears is just... Yeah, it's exactly what a kid would do. Alright, strike grandfather. Overwhelmed by helpless rage, you run to grandfather and kick him in the leg with all the strength you can muster. Yet, he is immovable. The next thing you see is him towering over you menacingly, his heavy walking stick in hand. Low-born scum, how dare you raise a hand? The blow hits home. The handle of the walking stick is as heavy as a rock. You are dazed, robbed of both hearing and sight. Down comes another blow, a sharp pain splits your head, then darkness. Your hand twitches against your will, then again and again like it is trying to catch a flying butterfly, and then you fall into the primordial void. The void takes away a part of you, one of the lives you were given to live. It will never return. There is pain and desperation and a sense of loss. Nothing can be done now. Wow, the father didn't even try to save you. Man. This is bad. You fall into a pain that embraces you like a soft feather bed. You feel light free. There are no restraints, just a warm glow that envelopes you in its secure embrace. The waves carry you, their touch softly, delicately enshroud what was once your body. It is a feeling unlike anything you have ever experienced before, something absolute and complete. You touch something greater, the reason behind everything, the reason for your very existence. You escaped from this light. It was the first thing you ever felt, a boundless and sincere unity of the diverse. Your beginning was a spark that casts this light in all directions. And now you are here again, one with the beginning of everything. The light gleaming from you and resembles the light of the shining pillar. You still see it in the north, as always. The waves of light carry you to two figures. The elder is nearest. He is ready to accept you. He is quiet, wise, kind, and pure. The younger waits further back. You do not know what he is yet. The waves pause at the elder's feet. He leans over you and plants a feather-like kiss on your forehead. The kiss spreads all over you. You are filled with unparalleled delight and peace. You exist. You are unique. There is no one else like you. They know this and they love you. You'll never be alone. You are a part of them, a part of your family, a part of this universe. The twin gods will never leave you. They watch over you constantly. The elder softly touches you as he lies spread out amongst the waves, sending you further down the torrent of light. You float on to the top of the silver tree's spreading crown. The closer you get to the silver tree, the heavier you become. The waves draw you down along its trunks, but you do not wish to part with the warmth and the softness with the love. You turn around. The elder is still watching you. He nods. All is as it should be. Go, your time has not come. You must return to war. As you tumble down towards your body, you comprehend the true meaning of the lesser death and divine love that has been revealed to you. Love exists not only in the hereafter, it is present in the entire design of the twins. That is the origin of all life in this world. What is the manifestation of this love in your mortal life? Okay, guess I want to change the lot system. So I'm going to use costs. A sudden comprehension of the love with which the entire world is imbued illuminates your mind, and then it fades away and vanishes. You regain the sensation of your flesh. It is heavy and unwieldy. It lacks that lightness, that light. It is a burden. It is smothering you. You gasp for air, your chest expands painfully, you feel as though your lungs are about to burst. The stagnant odor of the creep fills them, revolting but so real. You are back. Then you smell a sickly, moist smell. You feel dampness all around you. Come back to your senses in the gloom of the family crib, lying flat on the stone slab. Your parents are on their way to the crib right now. You hear the muffled voices. They are arguing, and against all rules, mother will not agree with father. Why would Sir Gregor do this? He just took one of our child's lives. Lydia, my father is our family's head, and the boy raised a hand to me. There was nothing we could do, and father did admit he was too hard on him. Please do not anger Sir Gregor. You need to accept this. It will never happen to any of our children ever again. Their voices grow quiet as they lean over you. You lean on your elbows to try and get up from the stone. Mother gingerly wraps her cloak over your naked body as you shiver from the cold. My son, your first death came far too soon. I know it may be difficult to realize what happened, but know this, the twin gods are ever merciful. You are a child and your time to leave the hereafter has not yet come. You will be returned here by the gods twice more, but do not tempt fate again, and never ever defy those who can easily take your life. You have angered your grandfather greatly. Do not stand in Sir Gregor's way ever again, and he will never hurt you again. For now, just stay away from him. Father stays a step away from you, not saying a word. When mother finishes talking, he picks you up and carries you outside. Together, your parents take you from the family crib. On your way out of the crib, you take a moment to pat your head. It is perfectly fine. There is no sign of a blow. Back home, grandfather is still walking through the house, examining the room. You can see that Stephen and Gloria are disturbed by what just happened. Nathan starts crying when he sees you. The playroom still reeks of burnt paint. There is something new about you now. A pitch black stripe on your left arm. It looks like a strange big dirt at first, but it will not wash off. It will be like that forever, Mother explains. That is all she will say of it. Alright. Soon grandfather leaves. Your elder brother Stephen goes with him. From that day on, father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life of the blessed Arcanian Empire. You often distract yourself from their instructions by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother. Too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stephen. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he is now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I have been studying with my peers. We are learning how to live as nobles in the society of nobles. We are also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part. With Stephen now at the boarding school, grandfather arrives once more. This time to live in your home. Oh no. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask mother where he lived before. In Eterna, he says, but now his place is here. Each time grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating grandfather's chambers, including his library and his sitting room. Sometimes father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. This home is mine and I will live here as befits a man of the nobility. This guy is arrogant. Okay, so an illustrious guest. Some days grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of his sight. But there is no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She has been crying all night again. Father sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before. Robert, it is high time your younger sons underwent their sacraments. Sir Brante, please, let them live free of the lot for a while longer. They are but... Shut your mouth. Robert, that wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she will be eating a gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It is time you considered a real marriage, Robert. One to a woman of the proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate. His hands clenched into fists. Baroness Lodar is such woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now and could use proper support and husband. You can keep your lowborn lady around if you like. Servant, catwoman, lover, I don't care. I will not do that, father. I'm the head of this family and the family is standing to a severe blow after you... this one. You married that commoner. It is unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of beautiful Amalia Elborn for this lonely woman and that bastard child of hers? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Father nods curtly, trying not to look in mother's direction. Father, I wish to see Stephen. If I find your conduct in the Baroness' presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She is coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it onto his plate and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word. Then father stands up and orders you and the other children back to the room. He needs to speak to mother in private. Mother comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease on the woolen blanket. He distances himself from you after Stephen's departure, so you are not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There is a sour expression on it. My son, Baroness Emma Alloda will be visiting us tomorrow. Please be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She has been crying and for a long time. It hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets, your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristically contented look about him. You hear the sound of wheels and wheels against cobbles in the yard, and then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still. Fearing grandfather's observant eye, the door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady Alloda and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Baroness, allow me to introduce you Robert's sons, Bettina and Nathan Brante. Frankly, it's his elder Stephen who deserves the most attention, but currently he is studying in Interna with other young noblemen like himself. It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her here next to your mother, your father's rightful wife? Alright, so I'll just follow suit. You follow father's example and kiss the Baroness' fingers gently. Her laughter fills the antechamber, ringing like chimes. You gallantly offer to lead her to the sitting room. Lady Alloda graciously agrees. Behind your back you can hear mother sobbing. Grandfather and Baroness Alloda engage in small talk over dinner. She tells him of the woes of litigation over her late husband's inheritance, and he advises her like the judge he is. Father is mostly silent, only getting in a word or two. You do your absolute best to behave yourself. After the decorous farewells to Lady Alloda, Father quietly thanks you for your model behavior. The morning after, he leaves for Interna with grandfather to visit Stephen. Mother spends almost an entire day in her bedroom, cannot bring herself to speak. Father returns from the capital in a quiet rage. You overhear your parents talking. Apparently, grandfather has already poisoned Stephen's mind against him, and he greeted father with cold hostility. The name of Baroness Alloda is never mentioned in the house again. He just wanted to see his son. Modest position. Alright. 7 years old. Kaleidoscope. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Once he becomes so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stephen had been the one to stay home instead of you. You never expected to hear these words from your father, of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. It feels lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your room, you now busy yourself with reading and calculations in the sitting room across from the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She has already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now, she seems preoccupied with a strange gift. Aren't you hurt by the way Grandpa treats you? You ask. Gloria just shrugs. Grandfather always says they should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're closer to him. I just have to stay out of his way, that's it. She shows you the strange tube she has been holding all day. Look, it is a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside? Excited by the idea, you close the book, peer into the tiny hole on one end of the tube. Your eye sees a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace into cavalry made of flames. You are riding at the front of the fiery horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines, and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive, and calm and peaceful, just like father's smile before grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives way to a scattering of gold, radiating a gentle warmth like mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives way to a hypnotic new pattern. Again and again, you see your family in these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. In the middle of this golden glow, you see Gloria's green eyes, gazing at you observantly. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked, but you're still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again, but you cannot preserve it no matter how you try. You're caught in an inner conflict. There is so much that can be done with this kaleidoscope. Should you take it apart or ask Gloria how it works, or keep enjoying the patterns as the patterns it shows you? But you still have lessons to do today. Return to your studies. Put the kaleidoscope away and return to studying the book. There is so much you have to discuss with Gloria. You can't help but wonder, what things did she see there? First, the lessons. When father walks in, he sees you hard at work over the books. He chuckles in approval, then spots the kaleidoscope on the table next to you. He puts the toy to his eye, then freezes still for a moment. It takes him an effort to put it back down. Then he praises you for being diligent and reads. When today's section of the book is finished, take the toy upstairs to your sister's room and tell her what you saw in it. Gloria smiles, knowing what you felt. I once saw a ballroom full of dancers. I watched it for an entire hour. My hands even got sore. You spend a long time with your sister discussing the kaleidoscope figures, and you feel a strong connection to her. The toy has brought you closer together, made you interconnected, just like the lines and figures in its colorful eyes. Okay, so this event is a consequence of your previous actions. Father's sword. When father is not working long hours, you often see him spending long stretches of time in the backyard practicing his fencing. You are allowed to watch, but that is it. You are forbidden from touching the sword, let alone actually learning how to fight with it. It is a new day today, and father has been busy in his studies since early morning. Mother took Gloria and later to the shops. Your studies are done for today. The house is empty. You spot father's sock hanging by the yard door. He must have left it there by accident after a training session. You deliberate at first, then grab the sword with you, resolve and run outside. At last you have a chance to see it up close. It is a small sword used for dueling, heavy and devoid of any ornamentation. You recall that it was made specifically for him. The weapon is difficult to handle. Its heft makes the palm of your hand shake. As you get used to it, you try your best to imitate father's feints. Your technique leaves much to be desired, but at least it's something. You imagine yourself fighting for the family's honor as the thin blade slices through the air. But you swing far too back and the blade nicks your shoulder and cuts through your shirt, staining the fabric crimson. The sword falls to the ground with a dull crack. You try to apply pressure to the wound to make it stop bleeding, but all you do is make the blood flow faster. What are you doing here? The familiar voice hurts you more than the cut of the sword. Father walks up to you briskly. His rugged arms rip off a length of cloth and bandage your shoulder. He squats by your side, pulls you into an awkward embrace. My son, why did you have to take the sword? You know you're not supposed to hold it. This is no toy. It is a weapon that can take lives. I know how you feel. I used to yearn for my father's unique sword back when I was a lad. One day you might have a chance to earn the right to carry a weapon, but first you must have patience and study and become a noble. When that day comes, I will be proud to teach you. You rarely spend time with father without someone else around. There is paternal love in his voice, so much that even the cut on your shoulder barely hurts now. You would be glad to be convinced by what he says. But how can you forget your dreams? How can you abandon it just to earn father's approval? Is it right for him to ask so much of you? Father's inquisitive look presses you for an answer. It takes you a long time to muster enough courage to speak. You beg him to teach you how to fight at least the very basics. It will certainly come in handy in the future. It will be your first step towards becoming a nobleman. Now it takes father a long time to respond. He is about to speak, and you expect a refusal, but he says nothing. He draws a sharp breath again, but remains quiet. Then he finally offers you the sword. But remember this, you are not a warrior, not yet. You study this like you study your lessons. He teaches you the first lesson right away. You learn to dodge attacks. There are several times when the tip of the blade catches the end dangerously close to your nose. It is scary and difficult, but you manage it. From that day forth, a father teaches you the foundations of sword fighting in great secret. You use your passion for tree climbing to explain the cuts you receive during training. Soon you learn how to hold your own in the room. But will you ever need this art in real life? Sweet temptation. Grandfather's visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He has become something you are used to, something nagging, yet not unordinary, like splinter or stain on trousers. The tension still remains, however. Grandfather's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable, it almost stings for real. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. You're walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her lightly on the shoulder. She is startled. Oh, it's you. Look, Grandpa's eating something. Grandfather is sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl you see a candied fruit, a sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate, like all sweet things. Yet Grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he keeps consuming the high-born treats. The clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on the shelf and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl when you look at her. The first emotion you feel is fear. But next comes curiosity, and it is stronger. Stephen used to boast that candied fruit tastes incredible, and now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. You try a candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it on your tongue. It is so sweet, you have never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes the fruit and brings it to her mouth, carefully like a rare treasure. There's a thumping on the stairs, footsteps accompanied by knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea why, but Grandfather is back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you, but she is frozen in place with the bowl in her hands. The door opens. Oh no. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm. You squalid, ungrateful, low-born child. How dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your trollop of a mother would be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noble estate and not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot? His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you are hidden. Her fingers glisten with the warm melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready, but then he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Please don't hurt him, Mr. Brante. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. It is only the beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed. Unlike you, you can still avoid your punishment. What is it then, Milksop? Did you try the sugar too? Or were you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says? Huh. I want to tell the truth though, but I'm sure both of us will like I don't want to make Gloria's sacrifice go to waste, so I guess I'll lie. You stand up and start barking. Yes, Gloria was telling the truth. You were trying to stop her. Grandfather tilts his head as he keeps you transfixed by his inhospitably bitter gaze. Then why did you hide behind the armchair like a petty thief? It was all Gloria told you to hide. Gloria looks at you with pain and disappointment when you say this. Grandfather nods, satisfied by your answer. He tells you to stay and watch him punish Gloria. Oh no. For the first time in your life, you see somebody else being punished. Her skin split apart by grandfather's walking stick, her clothes getting soaked in blood as she writhes in agony. Night comes, but Gloria's sobbing keeps you awake. You go to her bedroom and try to calm her down, but a muffled go away is her only reaction. She lied to grandfather for you, so why is she angry with you now? Yeah, exactly right. Mother takes Gloria to church next morning. They return late in the evening and Gloria begs father on her knees for forgiveness. She will never ever take what she does not deserve by birth with needs. She does not look at you, not even once. Oh no. The sacrament. Father and mother has been focused on Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you are told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of the sacrament. Mother, I want to go play in the yard. No playing today. You and Athena are big boys now. It is time for you both to have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot. I don't want a lot. Be quiet and listen. You were born commoners, so you must accept a low-born lot before the queens. When you grow up, you will get a chance to earn a noble lot. Father and mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather is the last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon the carriage is moving along the streets of Anizot, slowly and solemnly. One more turn and you see the colossal white building marked by two massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you are to enter the Church of Queen Gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into two halves. They are drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough and jagged and covered in dried brown spots, while the floor on the other is made of smooth marble. The commoners kneel on the jagged floor, and the well-dressed nobles and their families sit on pews. Father and grandfather leaves you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wince in pain for the lowborn estate shall suffer in the house of the faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar, where you and other children will take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest dressed in black with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes this place. He is scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach roils in an uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the words of his lot. From this day forth, he will fight and rule and pursue the arts, his mind now forever free from the throes of suffering, for he now belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him towards the altar and throws him on the jagged floor on the lowborn side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees as he lands, spraying drops of blood around him. I don't wanna. Why do they want to whip me? What did I do? You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world all by himself. The priest starts reciting the words of the Lord as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labour and humble in obedience to thy rulers. And now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his right shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He has received his lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself towards mother, his knees torn and bloodied. his spirit broken. It is your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your typo. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below, so sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. The priest's words are for you now. This is Te's sacrament. Thou shalt work and endure and suffer. Thou art about to receive Te first true suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept Te, Lord? Ha. Okay, now I'm torn between catching the lash, which I'm not sure whether a 7-year-old can do, and kiss the sword. What is this? What does this mean? Okay, I'll do catch the lash. The lash strikes, but your hand flies up and intercepts it before it can reach your shoulder. The leather whip leaves a deep cut on the palm of your hand. Blood starts dripping down your arm, soaking your humble shirt with red. The furious priest yanks the lash out of your hand. The acolyte grab you by the arms again. You will not be given a second chance to interrupt the sacrament. The lash cracks. It hits you on the right shoulder. You grit your teeth. Your back barely hurts at all. The real pain comes from the cut on your head. The lash strikes again, this time on your left shoulder. Oh, I should have just kissed the bloody sword. You rise and walk away from the altar, swaying. You see things with surprising clarity right now. A timid hand touches yours. It is Nathan, his tearful face a mixture of confusion and awe. Mother takes your hand and leads you out of the church. Once you're outside, she scolds you for being insubordinate. Grandfather is the last to leave his church. This church, right? His face is covered in red, angry blotches. There's a quiet fury in his voice as he says something to Father, who remains quiet and miserable as you walk towards the carriage. You defied a powerful will that day. There is fear inside you. You fear that this will might one day destroy you. You have taken your first sacrament and received the commoner's lot. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long time to heal. Mother says it's a reminder of your lot, suffering and sufferance, pain and patience. Gloria shows you the mark on the lash on your shoulder one day. It will never disappear. You are a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into. But Father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. You recall the past with warm sadness when Stephen still lived with you, when he wrote to you for a time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it's beneath him to write to the commoners in his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. But most importantly, you missed the time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learned the true power of the Lord only after the head of the family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him, or is it the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You are older now, and what's more, you are an elder brother now. You have learned how to care about someone else, how to lead by example, how to teach and protect. Soon you're a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way to laborious study. Now your choices will decide your place in the bizarre, ruthless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. Alright, so So personal qualities that you have accumulated will convert into adult qualities at the end of chapter 2. I have a lot of willpower. Alright. 8 years old. 8 years old count as adolescence. Yeah, maybe in medieval ages, right? Chapter 2, Adolescence. Okay, I think I'll start a new stream because it's chapter 2. Alright, so stay tuned. I'll be right back.